Our speaker.
Boy, hadn't y'all really missed that sergeant in Armsville the last 3 weeks? It's riveting stuff. Anyway, I think a man that's not a stranger to many of us here, Steve Ray's here today. He's a graduate of beautiful Tulsa East Central High School, Oklahoma State grad, 1985, had a 30-year career in corporate marketing, and then decided that that wasn't a challenge enough. So he came back and retired and decided to take on the Lakeview Landing project. So come on up here and tell us about it. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's going to be a lot of fun, I hope, and I hope you enjoy what you get to see. It's been a long project. Justin knows what's almost 3 years now, I think. So yeah, been a long time coming. I do have a couple of things I want you to know before we get started. As you guys know, when you're building something like this, there's a lot of hoops to jump through, a lot of zoning changes and all that stuff. So we're in process on a lot of this stuff, but I did ask permission from the city to go ahead and share the plans, and they were good with it. So what you see is what we have so far. It's not 100% up to date because the architects are slow. We hired the group out of Oklahoma City who did the O'Brate Stadium, and they're doing a great job, but it just takes time for them to catch up. We've had meetings Monday, we had meetings this morning, and we're always making changes. So not everything's up to date 100%, but I'll point out those things that are not, but we'll get going here. So everybody wants to know where it is. So most of you, if you've been around Stillwater very long, you know where the old power plant is on the south side of Boomer Lake. You see the Lakeview Road crossing the lake there. The project includes the area around the power plant, and then there's two empty lots ahead on the north side of Kyoto. That was the original RFP. Now, since then, we've got under contract the LifeNet services building. We've got a contract on quality water, so we will be developing all that frontage road as well. You notice on off of Lakeview, there's that road that goes around to the south side of the power plant. That is the old road that used to go across the dam area there. And we're actually going to petition to block that off and make it a private drive for the residences that are going to be going in. And we'll be updating the lake there. Going to bulldoze that whole west end right there and put in a beach for the community. The trail, the Camioka Trail will be there, and it'll still be accessible to everyone as well. So there's the old beautiful power plant. Looks like a great spot, right? So this is, as Justin said, a gentleman by the name of Shay came up, and he's is down in Dallas, wanted to look for a place to invest in Stillwater. And they climbed up on there in a hot August summer day one day, and he climbed up on that roof and said, this is going to be a rooftop bar. And this is how this whole thing got started. And we've added to it a lot since then, and you may not even seen all the latest ones, but it's going to be pretty incredible. So it's about 5 stories tall, and you can see part of Pioneer Field from that rooftop. You can see a great view of Boone Pickens Stadium, and then you get a different perspective of Stillwater, and especially the lake and how pretty it is over there. It's really going to be something. So here's kind of what we're proposing to start with. So you see, this is the east side of the plant. And on that 3rd floor there, you see it pushed out of the side. That'll be outdoor dining. And inside there, we're proposing putting in the microbrewery. And there you see silver tanks there on the left side. Over here on the right-hand side, you see these little houses. Those are going to be cabanas that'll be used for renting for like different concerts we're going to have. So you can, instead, if you want to entertain, somebody or just have a group of friends over, think of it kind of like a suite at the baseball stadium now. So you get to go and have your own food, your own restroom and everything and all that stuff. You can just rent it for each event. But we'll have the courtyard will be all AstroTurf, so you can use it in any kind of weather. We'll have walk-up areas on the bottom of on the east side of the building there, so you can get anything you want from burgers and wings and beer and whatever else you want to get. You can just walk up and get it there. I'll show you another picture of some other walk-up services as well. But we're also going to be tearing off the roof of the plant very soon, and we're going to be adding that rooftop bar. And so that'll be a standalone entity by itself. So we'll have full service bar in there. We'll also have a private restaurant, not private, but a restaurant that'll be operated by an individual we've been having talks with. Be very nice, high-end stuff. This is just the south end. You can see the silver tanks in the picture. So you see the blue Boomer Lake Station box there on the side of the building. All that stuff is staying, but instead of using the stairs to get into the building, we're going to have 2 elevators on that left-hand side of that corridor right there. Those stairs will stay there, and we're going to refurbish it and replace all the lights and everything in it. But we'll have elevators that take you up to the third floor and also the rooftop. Over on the right, you see the big condominium or townhomes there. Those are not going to be there anymore. That's just an outdated picture, but I don't have a new one to show you. This is just the north end. Once again, you see more tanks in the building or on the side there. And we're going to have lighting architects come in, and they will have lights in there that will actually change colors and all that stuff. So we're always going to be trying to promote or catching the eye of the people in traffic and coming by. And so it'll be a neat deal. So this is on the rooftop of the power plant. And like I said, these townhomes on the right, those have been replaced with some other models. But this rooftop, we'll have outdoor seating so you can get a good view of the lake. And we've changed these townhomes out to get a better view for everyone who's up there. And the idea was, and you'll see in a minute when we get to it, but we just wanted to have better views for everyone. And we're also going to have future development on the south side, which was blocking the view as well. So we changed that out. On the inside, here's the shot of the inside. So this first part over here on the left-hand side, that's going to be a bar. And then on the back, you see a glassed-in area. That's going to be the restaurant. And that'll service the whole upper floor there. One cool thing that they're going to have is we're going to have garage doors all the way around. So when it's nice outside, we can roll up the doors and be able to enjoy the great weather we have in the spring and the fall. And the architects don't really get too much into decorating here. Probably what you're going to see, and we haven't finalized everything yet. You'll see, couches and ornamental lighting and all kinds of eclectic gatherings up here. So there's going to be, a really kind of like Jones Assembly down in Oklahoma City. This is looking south, and on the left-hand side, you see the building that says Lakeview Landing. That is going to be a 2-story stage for live events. We hope to have a lot of great concerts here, and really Shay has some contacts in the music industry. We think we can have some really nice acts come up for this. But next to that, you'll see another building there. It has a big front porch on it. That's going to be another eatery, another restaurant, and it'll be walk up as well. And then you see that white box in the background there. That's actually phase 2. And so that's why we moved those big townhomes off of the water, so that we could have when those people go in there, they'll have a good view of the lake and not be blocked by townhomes. And so instead, on the new townhomes, instead of stacking them all up, we've gone in and stair-stepped them back so that you have just even better sight lines that way. I'll show you here in a minute what we've got. This is inside the brewery. This is looking to the north. Once again, the architects do not do anything as far as decorating or, any kind of things we're going to do to the project there. But this is just going to show you there's a big divide in the middle of the building. It runs north and south. And on the left-hand side, you see several layers of building there that will house the different tanks and all that. On the right side is all open area because that's where all the big turbines are that used to haul in the water. And they say that they could haul in 22,000 gallons of water a minute off those big machines. And so we're going to kind of take a little advantage of some of the architecture there. We're leaving a lot of the equipment in there. It's going to be really, really cool. There's going to be a big motor that's going to be kind of a museum piece that will have plexiglass around and all. But on that north end wall there's a big television there. We're going to put in a Jumbotron, and that'll be on the north end wall. So it's going to be the place to come and watch games. There'll be big screen TVs all up and down each of the walls. So there'll be no lack of viewing there. And this is just on the opposite end, looking to the south. You see the tanks and all. You see the people that look like they're standing on air right there right in the foreground. That's actually a piece of plexiglass that we're going to put in the floor that you can walk over. You can actually see all the equipment. We're going to take the cover off, and you can see all the different motors and everything. So we've got trying to preserve the history of that building. And when you walk in and you see a lot of the plaques of all of our city forefathers, it's really cool to see all the history of that place and see all the people who served on the board out there. And we're going to definitely find a place and preserve all of that. So I just put this picture in there just because it's kind of fun. One of the other things we're going to do is try to preserve the history of the place. There's a crane. You see that bucket for it on the right to the left of the inn on Noble Ray. That is an operating crane. It still works. And if you look down along those rail lines there is looks like a spindle in the air. Well, the architects didn't do a very good job of representing there, but we're actually taking a big turbine out of the motor, and we're going to hang it and have the lighting architects come in and make it a chandelier. And just to kind of give, a little credence to the history of the place. It'll be kind of cool, but they've got some great ideas. There will also be a private club in there for VIPs who want to come, and it'll have its own entrance. And so people like, if Mike Gundy wanted to come or they wanted to come and enter, take recruits out or something, they could go in there and not be bothered by the general public. And they'll have their own key. They just text us the code. We'll let them in with the code, and they'll have their own room and their own private chef, and have a meal prepared for them right there in the room. This is my favorite part here. This is a view of the townhomes, and you have three different views there, three different rows. The first row are going to be 2- and 3-story buildings, and like I said, they're going to be stair-step back, so that it'll give greater view to everyone. The E's are the 2- and 3 stories, and B's and C's are going to be 3 stories plus a rooftop deck. And the rooftop deck will have room we've got putting greens, outdoor kitchens, sitting areas, anything you want up there. You can configure it a lot of different ways, but they're going to be very spacious. And so when we made all this, you see everything is stair-step back from each other. And so each of these they're going to have their own balconies as well. They have a balcony for every floor, and you can be on your balcony and not be in the sight line of your neighbor. And every living room and every kitchen will all have floor-to-ceiling windows so that you can have great views of the lake as well. And this is one of those updates that they haven't made on the architecture side, but this is looking to the west on Lakeview Bridge, and you kind of get a glimpse of how it'll look when you're driving up on the deal. But the problem is they didn't account for any elevation change. This is just flat to topography, and we're waiting on those reports to get the topography for the area. But the townhomes in the back will actually be about 15 to 18 feet higher than they are on this picture. But it'll be a nice looking. It'll actually change, I think, this into town pretty well. And then you see the brewery sticking up there as well. This is the first road. The homes on that have an E on them are the 2 and 3 story buildings, and then the ones on the right are the 3 stories with a rooftop terrace, and they're a lot bigger than the ones on the water. And we call that, the ones on the left we call a mountain modern kind of a style. So if you took the brick off and put on river rock, you could go stick it in Vail and it'd fit right in. And you see the station there on the right hand side as well. That's the brewery. There's your mountain modern look there. And this is the back side. So on the water side, they'll have balconies and rooftop terraces and all that. So they'll have a lot of their own outdoor space. And when we talk about the rooftop terraces, each unit will have their own private rooftop terrace. And so there's not a shared common area there. And we have glass garage doors, and we've had some feedback that people may not like that, so we're going to consider changing that. But a lot of neat little things they've done. This is directly across the street from that first row. This is the bigger ones that have the full rooftop terrace, and it'll have they're about 3,000 square feet on the inside, and about 4,500 to 4,800 of total space that is not all air conditioned either. And that's the backside of those bigger ones. And so you can see we've tilted the roof on all of these. And so there's going to be a lot of natural lighting that goes right in on the staircase, and a lot of space there that people can entertain and have a good time, and then also be right next to the brewery and have just we're trying to have a community there where they can have everything within walking distance. This is on top, one of the rooftops, and this one is on the back row. So you can see the 2-story units to the lower left, and you see the ones on the right. That's the units in the middle. And as you can see, they'll be quite large. And just another shot of the rooftop there. And this is these are the units that are right on the water. They also have great decking out there. And these things will have, they'll be loaded with all the amenities that people are looking for. And then if somebody wants just a white box that they want to come in and bring their own people and finish it out, they can do that as well. And then that's just another one of the lakefront, a different style of the lakefront units there. So that is phase 1 of what is going to be hopefully about 4 phases. And we're super excited to get it rolling. We hope to be working on the brewery in the coming weeks. We've got a guy coming from California, and he is specialist in repurposing material. So he's going to take a lot out, but he's going to repurpose it and put it back to use somewhere else. And then he's had some great ideas. We have some big boilers in there, some big tanks and desalinization tanks in there. And he wants to, there's one that is huge that you could walk through. He wants to cut off the end of it and put a pull tab on it. It's like it's a can of beer that you do and go to a beer garden, which is going to be pretty cool. But that's what's coming. And so we're going to be starting to pre-sell those townhomes in the next 2 to 3 weeks probably, and see where we go. So, yes, sir.
What's the price range?
Well, that's a great question, and a very difficult question, because we're dealing with strange supply chains right now. June of 2020, a bundle of lumber was $386. In June of 2021, it was $1,700. And so, we're in the middle of trying to figure out, is inflation going to take over on certain products? Is the supply chain going to come back down? Be more reasonable. One of my buddies is on the American Board of Contractors, or the Board of American Contractors, and they think that the prices are going to come back down in September and October. And so we're kind of waiting to the last minute to try to fine tune everything. And plus we're waiting on builders as well, to come and give us some numbers too. Yes, sir.
Is the beach and the restaurant area, the public, they're going to be open free to the public?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Free to everybody. Yeah. No, we'll actually brew. We've got over 30 tanks. We got 16 of them there right now. It's also going to be distillery. We've got all the wooden oak caskets. So we've got actually bought 2 breweries and going to bring them up from Texas and put them in. Correct. Yeah.
They park all the cars in the public.
So, yep. So where LifeNet is, and those 2 lots that are just to the south there, those will all be bulldozed and reconfigured, and you'll walk in from that area right there. Because where the townhomes are going in, we're closing that road off, hopefully with the city's approval, of course. And say all these things, we still got to go through zoning changes and all that kind of stuff. But if everything goes as planned, then that's what we'll do.
We have a couple things from Zoom. First, they're asking if you could repeat the questions.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
And the second, you've already alluded to the beach will be publicly accessible,
Yes.
but will swimming be allowed?
I believe that's the case. I've been told that it is. They'll also have stand-up paddle boards, kayaks, and all that kind of stuff, so you can go under the bridge and go through, access the rest of the lake as well.
With luxury houses being the ones right up to the beach, concerned with having too much noise and
There's a question about too much noise on the beach if the houses or the townhomes are right there on the beach side. There's really quite a bit of space between the water and that trail. I don't think it'll be a big concern. Plus, we're going to put in high quality windows and all the construction that to eliminate some of that stuff. There was a little bit of concern about the Lakeview traffic as well, but once again, I think we'll put in nice high quality product and it won't be a huge problem, I don't think. Yes, sir.
I think the bigger concern for noise would be the live concerts.
Yes,
Live concerts, I think we do 5 miles away.
The question was about live concerts and the noise. The lead developer is going to be living there as well, and part of the agreement with the city is that he will be the owner for at least 10 years, and he will control when the concerts are, for sure. Yes, sir.
Also from Zoom, are you in a position to allude to what may be in bases 2 through 4?
One more time, please.
Are you in a position to talk about phases 2 through 4 and what those might entail?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't name names right now. But I can tell you on the south end, and if you don't mind me scrolling back to these pictures real quick. So you see the brewery there with the rooftop, and there's a big white box to the south end of that. That is the area between there, and there's some Henneberry properties on the south side of that box. But where that white box is right there, that's going to be retail on the bottom, and we're going to put condos on top, and all of those condominiums will have rooftop terraces as well. And then on the phases 3 and 4, that's going to be all the frontage road on north of Washington there. Excuse me. We are in talks with people. It's all open right now, but we have some exciting prospects there.
Who is your typical person that you're going after? Not the owner of an office.
So the question was, who was the typical prospect for these townhomes? There is a great need from our alumni base to have a lock and leave property. And so this is why this was designed, is for people who own suites, people who, and we welcome everyone who wants to come and be a part of it, of course. But there was a great need in town for, like I said, a lock and leave property where they're going to have, be able to come and have concierge service from the airport and be able to get to their home and have a place to go. And if they want 24-hour maintenance, we'll have 24-hour maintenance, whatever they need, but they can come here and just, enjoy it, enjoy the university, hopefully build some stronger ties with the university, and we'll just, kind of go for, we don't know exactly what that number is going to be. We have 31 homes here, but we think some people from Stillwater will buy these. We don't know about for sure, how many or what yet. It's a different lifestyle, of course. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
I think the live concept is great, but how do you control this not being a free concept?
So the question was, how do we control it, the noise and not letting it turn into another calf fry? Well, this is definitely not geared towards college students. We will not have any specials for college students. This is for us. Okay. And so, and like I said, the owner is going to be in one of those 5 units right in the middle there. And I can promise you there will be controls in place. But once again, this is not going to be a place where you're going to have a bunch of college kids come and carouse and whatever all that may entail. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Steve. I know it's very exciting for this concept and project to begin coming to fruition. So thank you for sharing about it with us today. We support literacy here at Stillwater Frontier Rotary, so we'll be donating a book to the Stillwater Library in your honor. So